let's take a look at our top selections.
The second of 4 graded stakes races on Saturday at Santa Anita is the Grade 2 San Marcos, a mile and 1/4 on grass. And this race was won a year ago by the best long-distance grass horse in California. That was United, who at age 5 really came into his own. He won 4 graded stakes, finished second in another, and he is expected to return in the year 2021 as a 6-year-old gelding, and he'll probably dominate the division again. He's just the best horse in a relatively shallow group of long-distance grass horses out here in California. Now, United's absence from the San Marcos, and by the way, he won this race a year ago as the odds-on favorite, United did. His absence from this year's San Marcos leaves kind of a jumbled field of 6. This race was initially scheduled for last Saturday, but we had a bunch of rain in Southern California, and Santa Anita made the very wise decision to postpone this race by 1 week. It didn't interfere with any sort of future stakes races down the road. And so they postponed the race for a week, and the San Marcos on Saturday, thankfully, will be run on a firm turf course, barring some crazy weather phenomena. I don't think that's going to happen. We're looking at fast and firm over the weekend at Santa Anita. Race number 4 is the San Marcos. Let's take a look at the field of 6, racing a mile and 1/4. And I would expect that favoritism will probably go toward number 4, Acclimate. Acclimate missed virtually the entire 2020 campaign with injuries, setbacks, COVID, etc. But he came back with a good 4th place finish in the Grade 2 Hollywood Turf Cup in late November. And then last time out, Acclimate was the favorite in the Unusual Heat Turf Classic on January 16th at Santa Anita. Now, he finished 3rd that day, but let's roll the tape on the Unusual Heat Turf Classic. And this was a weird race because the pace setter, a horse by the name of Kono, went out and went 44-3, 109. Bear in mind, this is a mile and 1/8 grass race. Acclimate, who was positioned second, was first over when Kono hit a wall, as expected. And by the time he made the lead, the come-from-behinders just came and gobbled him up. The pace was weird, and this might sound counterintuitive, but sometimes a fast pace, a wickedly fast pace, can influence come-from-behinders as much as it does front-runners. It just turns the whole race into a scramble. And 44-3, 109 fractions in a 9-furlong grass race, well, it did turn the Turf Classic into a scramble. Acclimate got first run, and then he got swallowed up late by a couple of come-from-behinders that just ran right past him. But it was a decent effort by Acclimate. And now the difference on Saturday in the San Marcos is this. Kono is not in the field. In fact, there are no other front runners in this field. Acclimate should be loose on the lead under jockey Tyler Bays, and this 7-year-old gelding, who was a graded stakes winner 2 times 2 years ago, he showed in both of his last 2 starts, a 4th and a 3rd, that he still has run in his legs. And if he gets out there and coasts on the front end, and if nobody pressures him, Acclimate could have been long gone. I mentioned earlier, this race was initially scheduled for last weekend, which would have meant Acclimate would be wheeling back in 2 weeks, which was always the plan. But with the extra week between starts, now he's had 3 weeks between starts, Acclimate has, and that benefits this front runner. So Acclimate, yes, he is legitimate, and he could race gate to wire. So with 3 weeks between starts, it's all good for Acclimate. If he is as good this year at age 7 as he was 2 years ago at age 5, he could very easily take this field gate to wire as the favorite. I went shopping for a price in this race, and it's a horse that I have chased before, and I'm usually reluctant to do so again, because when you chase a horse at a price and he or she loses and falls short of your expectations, what that generally means is you've overrated the horse. And I may have overrated number 5, Salvatore Mundi. But face it, the long distance grass division in California is not very deep, especially with United not in the field. And although Salvatore Mundi is nothing more than a 2 other than placed come from behinder, his races are almost good enough to win a mile and 1/4 race like this. Phil D'Amato trains Acclimate on the front end. He also trains Salvatore Mundi, who will be coming from behind. Now, the first time that Salvatore Mundi ran a mile and 1/4, he went up and tried to press United. That is not how Salvatore Mundi prefers to run. He pressed United and then he cracked. So you look at his past performances, Salvatore Mundi, and you say, well, you know what? A mile and 1/4 might be too far for him. And it might be. But Flavien Prat takes over on Saturday. And I believe if I interpreted D'Amato's discussion the right way, it looks like Prat is going to take Salvatore Mundi back and make one late run, and we'll find out how good he is. D'Amato does not put Prat on horses unless they have a chance. And I think that Salvatore Mundi at a price has a big chance to maybe blast home somewhere in the 5-1, 6-1 range. Can we get that? We can hope so. He's good right now, Salvatore Mundi is. I'm not sure he's graded caliber. Another horse I'm not sure if he's graded caliber is a horse that comes off a decisive victory last time out, and I'm referring to number 2, Master of Foxhounds, who has not raced since late November, but it was his second start in the U.S. And when you watch the stretch run of this allowance race at Del Mar, tell me that you're not impressed. Master of Foxhounds, not only did he win the race, he destroyed the field. Now, it was an entry-level allowance. I understand that. But grass races are not usually won in such decisive fashion. And Master of Foxhounds is lightly raced. He's only 4, and he has the pedigree to be something special. He's now trained by Richard Baltas. He made his first 6 starts overseas, Master of Foxhounds did. He's a son of war front. His dam is a sibling to Breeders' Cup turf winner Magician. So on top and bottom, Master of Foxhounds has a right to be a good horse. The fact that Baltas is just completely forgetting about the N2X condition and jumping him right into this mile and 1/4 grade 2 suggests to me that Master of Foxhounds is doing well. And we know that Baltas trainees with time between starts typically reproduce their effort. Now, does a one other than blowout translate to victory in a grade 2? Maybe not, but I wouldn't count him out, Master of Foxhounds. I ultimately took a price play, probably against my own better judgment. I like D'Amato's second starter, Salvatore Mundi, to blast home and win the San Marcos from behind. But to do so, he'll have to catch potential loose on the lead. That would be Acclimate. That's the San Marcos, race 4, Saturday at Santa Anita.